Have you ever played the Elder Scrolls series like Arena, Daggerfall? No. I know you haven't, because you're not that old, right? But regardless the age, every gamer in this world must have heard about Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion. They just got remastered a while ago. But have you ever heard about Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon? This game, also known as the polished Skyrim, and honestly that comparison is pretty accurate. Not just because it's an open world RPG, but because it has the same charming jankiness and weird bugs.
You are a worthless bitch ass.
Or the romance that leading to a hot steamy I'm joking. No explicit sex. For now. So Tainted Grail is a dark fantasy survival RPG set in a dying version of Arthurian legend, created by a board game company from Poland, Awaken Realms, with 60 passionate people behind it. And I'm not joking when saying they're really passionate on making this game.
Nobody could be stupid enough to actually fall for this. And yet...
The developers actually sent me a collector's edition, which is really cool. But before you think this is a sponsored content, let me be clear, okay? They didn't ask me to make a video about it, no obligations, no requirements, nothing. They just sent it and said, here, try this out if you like. But here I am making a video anyway because this game genuinely surprised me. Despite all the quirks and rough edges, Tainted Grail is actually really good. Like, surprisingly good. My intention was to make a review video, but after spending a bunch more time in the game, I decided to do more than just a review. There are 3 goals in this video. Beat the game, buy a mansion, get married. These goals are achievable in Skyrim through the Hardfire DLC, and apparently, I might be able to do that in Tainted Grail as well. So grab your Doritos, popcorn or whatever, get comfortable because this is a very long journey, and let's begin. As the game begins, obviously I spent some time making my character look good because it's a FPS game and my face gonna be covered in helmet most of the time. But it's an element of surprise for the ladies. I pick adventure difficulty just so I can get good and enjoy the game at the same time. Don't judge me. As I woke up in the cell without knowing any context, a guard talked to me asking for my background. Picking a class within the conversation, I went with Thief because I'm a loyal Dex player through and through. And playing games like Skyrim, I like to implement the element of surprise whenever I can. They also gave me a bow buff, so yeah, Iron Eye in the making. Then this mysterious stranger showed up, 360 no-scope the guy and just get me out of the cell.
One of these keys will open your cell.
At the moment, I'm trying to get used with the controls, get everything I could, and oh god! Oh, I look disgusting. I explored the place a little bit and talked to the non-hostile individuals in this scary looking place, and now it's time for combat. One thing I noticed, they really emphasize parrying, which I really hate, considering my history of parrying in other games. But okay, hit this guy a couple times and he's done. But honestly, the red priest just now hit pretty hard and I realized I got nothing to heal myself. After that, a few zombies just came out and I didn't expect to get killed by them. And that happened multiple times actually. Oh man, actually this is a Souls game it seems. But because it's a Souls game, fighting them isn't worth it. After struggling for like 30 minutes, I just ran away and made my way to Caradog. Yes, he's the guy that saved us before. This time we have to get out from the asylum for real. Along the way I encountered some red priests, but they seem to get infected. It's kinda hard to get used with the controls, but I somehow managed to better my parrying skill and eventually get out. By getting out, I mean entering like a realm, like a lucid dream where the environment looks beautiful and weird, and I start hearing voices that speaks in codes.
It's not here.
It looks like the one that speaks the entire time is Jarvis. He talks about weirdness and some stuff that I don't understand at the moment, but I let him stay in my head and we proceed to escape the whole place. After that, the cutscene starts, showing King Arthur's legacy until the end of his life. Then a creepy guy starts moving those lips, singing in the creepier place. After the scene ends, I spawn in that specific location. I hate this place, but we'll be coming here very now and then. Apparently arriving in this place makes Jarvis recover some of his memories, and shockingly, he is actually King Arthur himself.
I am Arthur Pendragon.
But right now he's unable to use his physical body as he is not whole. To make him whole and resurrect him, I have to find all fractions of his souls. That's what he said actually. Now this place can only be visited once I have the souls, and for the first soul, I get to use a superhuman ability to stop time. However, I didn't know how to use it at the time, so for the first boss fights, I just beat them naturally. It's quite easy. We finally got out from that nightmare of a place and rendezvous with Caradog to escape the island. This is where the game actually starts. We got drifted by the storm along the way and conveniently crashed into the beach, safely. I took everything I could find and looked around to see what activity I can do, like fishing, cooking, or swimming in the pond full of blood. I couldn't find Caradog. He went completely missing, probably dead. But what I found is that you haven't clicked that subscribe button on the screen, so you better click it right now or else. The nighttime in this game is pretty scary. I believe there is something out there chasing me and the enemy gets stronger for no reason. Even those hobos got enhanced by having Batman face paint. Now when it comes to leveling up, it's pretty similar to Elden Ring where I have to spend the points to a specific stats as all the armor, weapons, and spells has a certain amount of stats requirement for me to fully equip them. You will also get a point for the skill tree every time you level up. Now, this one determines what build you want to rock for the entire run. Pick one, there is no wrong choices here. I was lucky enough to reach a settlement called the Horns of the South before I got devoured by the night. Sleeping while on duty? How unprofessional. After showing the pin I got from Caradoc before, they actually let me in. But because it's very late at the time, I wasn't able to talk to anyone, so I loot everything I can. No, I didn't steal, okay. There's actually a lot of free items all over the place. Then took the rest until morning. At some occasions, you can talk to Arthur while sitting near the bonfire. Similar case like with Melina in Elden Ring.
He was the first to set foot on Avalon.
After resting until morning, I met Vargas, the quartermaster of the Horns.
I haven't seen you before.
I still have a vague idea on what my mission is, but the settlements actually has the real Excalibur here. The reason why I need to get the Excalibur is because the Excalibur has a fractions of King Arthur's soul, and we have no idea how to even touch it, and basically I have to get more information about it from the captain. However, he doesn't want to let me know where the captain resides, as for the moment I'm still an outsider. So I decided to help out a little bit to increase my credibility. I slaughtered the entire village outside the settlement as these peasants seems to treat me with hostility. I don't know why. With all the combat going on, I cannot go with the no-hit run as I still having trouble with parrying and dodging mechanics, especially in gang fights. The only resource to restore my health bar is by eating food, and with that I have to be good at cooking. I'll have a decent recipe in the future, but right now, whatever on the plate is good enough. Speaking about resources, I guess these peasants have some superior equipments that I'm very glad to get. Time for an upgrade. Right now, I try to take everything to replace my dagger. A dual one-handed weapon is very beneficial for a dex build like me. My current mission right now is to talk to an NPC named Mark. Bro, get the hell out of my face, man. Mark, help me out. Oh, thank you, Mark. What were you saying before? Oh yes, the undead problem. I went to the cemetery where the place was surrounded by undeads. This is where I trained my stealth ability. Yep, still needs a lot of work to do. I managed to kill some of them and went inside the catacombs right away because it's getting late. I gotta move fast. A friendly undead named Horrordog, I cannot pronounce his name but whatever, was actually a guardian of this place. And apparently the reason of the undead outbreaks was caused by a necromancer inside the catacombs. Now imagine when you have to break through the entire undead sleeping quarters by yourself, especially if one of the stone statue actually alive. But worry not, their movesets are quite repetitive, it's not that hard. Somehow I reached the necromancer and I was expecting a boss fight, but no, he's actually a reasonable guy that makes mistakes, so I didn't kill him. But what I did is gaslighting him to turn himself into an undead and that solved everything. I level up a bit and talked to Mark and Vargas to report my findings. With that, Vargas told me that the captain disappeared a while ago, but he had a suspicion that the captain actually went to visit a specific faction called the Dalriada. In the meantime, I get to know some of the residents as I might need them in the future, especially the blacksmith. In this first act, I would say the pacing was very slow as I feel super weak against everyone, and in certain area the difficulty spike is very noticeable. I cannot even beat a guy wearing a steel plate helmet, like damn dude. I found a horse located under the bridge, but I don't know if anyone experienced this, but maneuvering the horse was kinda buggy, and I prefer to walk by foot across a continent. As much as I'm struggling fighting a regular mob, I didn't think that I have to grind some levels for now as this is just very early in the game and sometimes they just give you a hard time to see if you survive a whole test. Even though enemies in the night drops more loots, they are far stronger to the point I was unable to beat some of them. I don't think I need them loots for now, so whenever the night comes, I'll try to either wait until morning, which sometimes got interrupted by the weirdness, or find the closest settlements then rest until morning. Avoiding the main road, I finally reached the Dalriada camps. Meet Mabin, your tough and friendly Dalriada. Just by telling her you want to talk to their leader, she just let you in right away. Pick security here.
Go ahead.
I get to know everyone in the camps, they seems nice and not like the barbarians like they portrayed. And I met Vran, the leader of the tribe. I asked her about the captain and she told me to drink with her. Well, actually I'm the only one drinking and that drink made me sound like a duck. After quacking for a bit, I back to my normal state and start doing errands again. Little did I know, Vran is only a puppet and actually doesn't know anything about what happened to them at the moment.
You lied to me!
I tested my strength against Mabin and she clapped my ass in seconds. Remind me not to treat them as enemies, okay? So I have to get inside their temple, but in order for Vran to let me in, I have to do her a favor regarding their relationship with the Horns of the South. So the idea is to bring them a gift, and that is an axe, to let them know that Captain Brandon is safe here. I gave the axe to Fargas as he accepted it with a little suspicion, like a little bitch he is. I'm joking. The actual bitch is the captain himself. They finally let me enter the temple, and I met One Eye and Captain Brandon. As One Eye is Dalria, the actual leader, and the reason they have a secret meeting is because the Horns was planning to team up with Dalriada to fight against Camelot. I mean, not a single of these political meeting concerns me at all, but in order to get the Excalibur, only Brandon knows how to pull it out. But he doesn't want to let me know unless I help him with all the political stuff. He doesn't have the power to do anything, and he asked me to kill Sir Galahad.
Yes, it's that simple.
One of the Round Table Knights, bro, that is crazy. I might have to fight Sir Galahad at some point, but I prefer not to. I'm barely managing to kill basic outlaws, and now I'm supposed to take one of the most legendary knights in history. Yeah, I believe we can talk this one out. By the way, I have a parrying gauntlet because I believe I have to utilize parrying more often than just dodging. This will make Galahad baffled, probably. And I also get some money from killing some bandits or taking bounties. Well, I hope I can bribe Galahad to not fight me, if possible. I travel quite far to reach the fort, and even the mobs in this area are quite tough. I avoided them at all costs and only to engage them when I can guarantee my victory, which is rare at the time. Big thanks to the guard outside that didn't care about security at all, because they know Galahad is a mad dog. I cannot believe the real Galahad's still alive after hundreds of years, and there is some dialogue that I didn't understand. I mean, did Caradog die and he found the corpse? Everyone seems to know about Caradog but me. Anyway, I found a few important informations where One Eye is actually a bandit or some sort, but at the end the only choices that matters are these two.
Marvelous.
Look at the damage I dealt to him. This is just impossible. I guess I don't have any choice other than side it with him and yeah, accuse the accuser kind of thing, I guess. Apparently the situation has turned really sour once I get back to the camp. I was greeted by Mabin and her sword. There isn't any significant progress from the last time I met her, so the only way to avoid death maybe is just run. Okay, so I don't know if she is supposed to be dead already or this is just a bug. But anyway, the entire camp was slaughtered by the Camelot soldiers and Galahad himself, but no. I believe Galahad took everyone's head, obviously. Now, before I join the fun, I gotta make sure I loot everything so I didn't get out from here empty-handed. I feel bad about Vran and the others actually, as they actually quite nice to me, but I'm sorry, I cannot do anything at the moment. As I march further to the temple, I can see how pathetic these Galahad soldiers. And so am I. Not only these Dalriada warriors are super strong, but I have to pay attention where I swing my sword, as these Camelot soldiers can turn against me just because of collateral. I mean, you guys stand very close to me, that's your fault. Anyway, we got beaten up and I decided to retreat. I don't understand why Mabin, Fran, and the others died at the beginning while these nameless warriors still alive and fighting. But my guess, Galahad just speedran his way to the temple. So I have to halt my progression since it's almost impossible to get through the entire Dalriada warriors. Since I have to level up and probably get a better gear, I did a lot of side quests, explore some new locations, including a very comfy village near the beach. I also trained my sneaking skills with my bow and my parrying skill to the point where I'm able to deflect projectiles as well. Killing these bandits gave me some money, and the one that has name gave you a lot more. Obviously, they're harder to kill, but they're far easier than Galahad and Mabin. This boosts my confidence a little bit. Similar to Skyrim, I also have weight limit depending on my endurance level, and every time I acquire a loot, I prefer to store them in the stash right away, as I couldn't even use them at the time. Now after doing a bunch of quests, including the weird ones, I level up even more. And I believe I already optimized my parrying skill to a decent level. I also got a new dagger, the Wolf Fang. I guess I'm ready to go back to the main mission. I realized something unique. The reason why these Camelot soldiers are as weak as 2 sticks, it was because they scale with my current level. I'm at level 12 and it's surely much better when it comes to dealing damage. But it's still quite tough to deal with them by myself, especially if I got hit. And I can see now the Camelot soldiers deal more damage than before. It helps me a little bit. However, it took me 20 minutes and multiple deaths to finally kill them all. Unfortunately, those Camelot soldiers didn't make it, so I'm the only one survive. Unsurprisingly, Galahad already killed One Eye and Brandon inside the temple. He said what I did just now is not only saving Camelot, but also prevents the conflict between Camelot and the Horns. Not that I care about all of that, but he also told me how to take the Excalibur. That requires a gong that I accidentally picked up while doing side quests a while back. I also met someone there, looks like a hobo. I mean, his name is Hop though. Anyway, with all that done, I went back to the Horns and let Fargas know that his captain died like a little bitch and promoted him as the new captain of the Horns. A competent one, that is. Doing what Galahad told me before, I set up the gong where Hobbs resides and dive in to meet the Sea Emperor that's surprisingly quite friendly. Thank God Arthur came in just like a supervisor helping out his intern by giving out a reference letter. With that, I got deemed worthy, and now I'm able to take out the Excalibur. Yep, that's my fault. Looks like my health is too low to take out the Excalibur. Gotta grind a little bit more. Wait, actually I don't have to grind. All I have to do is activate my superpower to slow down time and take out the sword. That's right, I'm smart. After gaining an upgrade for King's Soul Power, a cutscene appeared where Arthur is arguing with Merlin. Apparently they took the word whatever it takes to their very heart, and that might be the reason about the weirdness that creates monsters in this land, and that's also why I'm here as well. I was their product. But it was all just my assumptions as it's still too early in the game. I woke up and Caradoc appeared out of nowhere. Where have you been, bro? I thought you were dead. And now you explain everything why you hate King Arthur and we actually just an experiment with them. I mean, you asked me to fight them while you didn't even want to fight them yourself, you fucking pussy. At the end, he asked me if I still want to go with him or against him. I believe at my current state, there's nothing I can do rather than just follow what he told me to do. I'll be obedient for now. I thought after all of that, I acquired the sword, but apparently it was just a symbol and I only get the power of it. That's just an upgrade for the King's Soul. It's time for me to continue my journey to look for the shield. But before that, Fargas finally knighted me, and by reading the vow, I'm officially a Keeper of the Horns. And then I left, leaving my knighthood right after the ceremony. I never really paid attention to these locations, but apparently there's a strange guy just sitting near the statue.
Oh no!
Well, pretty sure I stand no chance against this guy. Now, I played Elden Ring a lot, alright? Tough enemies doesn't mean shit to me, so I gotta beat this guy no matter how long it's gonna take. Because something tells me it's gonna be worth it. What makes this fight different with the Dalriada warrior back then is this is a 1v1 fight. No matter how hard the opponent, as long as I survive long enough, I can beat him. All of his attacks can be parried and he doesn't have a lot of variety on the movesets. One issue though, the shield can damage me if I keep hitting him while he's guarding. Very annoying, but totally doable. I also cook a bunch of food already, so I got no problem healing. I know my damage was still on baby stage and fighting him might be too early for me. That's why I gotta use something else. I crafted a bunch of burning potions and some others. It's a throwable. Well, a good range attack might be helpful in the fight, and I was right. I keep throwing at his back whenever I can to render his shield useless, but maybe a little bit combo of 2 slashes and throwable is a good one as well. I mean, what I need right now is consistency and... Oh, no. He can heal. I cannot let that happen, bro. Yep, he's dead. And he gave me a bunch of good stuffs that I cannot use. Wow, okay, to the stash you go. As we enter the new location, Cuanacht, I can feel the atmosphere is different from the horns. It was bright, lively, and deadly at the same time, as I can feel a difficulty spike right when I step foot in this place. I guess some people complain on that part in Steam review, and I agree and disagree at the same time. Based on my experience, Act 2 is where I have the most fun out of the entire gameplay. Let's just dive in right now, shall we? While exploring Cuanacht, I immediately realized I'm severely underleveled. The enemies here are significantly tougher than anything I've faced before, so my strategy became less brave knight and more of a tactical coward. When the fight was too overwhelming, I gotta find a different way to deal with them or just completely avoid them at all. I'm genuinely struggling to survive at this point. Food is running low, I have very limited arrows at the time, and these new kind of enemies are quite ruthless. I kinda wanna go back to the horns to gear up a bit more, but luckily I finally reached the city of Cuanacht. Barely. As soon as I step foot inside the city, I pass out right away. I woke up in the Jarl's house, and the owner, Yvain, told me I was one activating the menhir. Well, quick explanation. Menhir is a giant stone with a skull on the top of it that we looked at before passing out. I'll get straight to the point. Where's the shield? Yvain doesn't seem to care, but to get the shield, of course I have to do him a favor. I talked to some people in Cuanacht just to get to know them, but my priorities right now is to level up. The boy is very weak. Like, I'm so weak that I have to go back to the horns just to grind some levels. Even the bears in the horns feels very tame compared to one in the Cuanacht, but they're still tough. Gotta ask Putin to tame them. I met someone from the Dalriada tribe and he's quite friendly. I'm actually surprised there is some surviving members after the genocide. He told me what lies beneath this cave and he wasn't ready for the fight. But I'm different. I might not be strong enough to walk in the lands of Cuanacht, but I'm always ready to face everything in the horns. So I'm fighting the Mistbearer. The cutscene appears. Oh man, okay. Tough fight, tough fight. Okay, the damage seems alright, but we got more issues now. So this is a typical fight where I have to fight more than one enemies at the same time. It's a gang fight at the end of the day. Phase 1 isn't really that tough as I killed the Mistling quite easily. However, it's kinda hard for me to see what they're about to do as they most likely gonna hit me. And that hurts. I cooked a bunch of foods before, so let's hope I have enough healing resource. The Mistbearer himself can shoot projectiles from afar and that distracted me even more. But worry not, as I can deflect them easy just like playing baseball. Issue number 2. At some point, he can use Kagebunshin, so there will be more of him in the area and I have to find the original one to deal damage. But at the same time, the Mistling will appear, so it's gonna be a 10 versus 1 kind of fight. That's how we do it. The key to win is to have enough food to heal. I believe by beating that boss, I got an easy way to level up. Maybe I should go on to bosses instead. But honestly, I cannot hold myself from taking bounties because I feel like fighting bandits are the most fun part out of everything. It's the same feeling as when I played Skyrim. And I guess I have to give credit to the developers because they make me feel for these characters. Not because of the voice acting, but their personal story excites me, making me want to know even more. I had more fun doing the side quests at this point. You can also get unique weapons as well, however none of them can be used right now since the stats requirements are quite painful. I think this just shows how underleveled I am. I am finally a bit stronger now. I'm able to take on parts of Cuanacht now without immediately dying, which is progress. And I also started a unique quest in the Horns.
Oi, what do you think you're doing here?
Nope, not this one. This guy talks too much shit and a hateful individual, so I gotta teach him a lesson.
Come on, show me what you've got!
The quest I was talking about is Liberation. There are some locations that was inhabited by bandits a while back, but once you wipe them out, it was replaced by another bandits. So I gotta wipe them out from existence again. For good this time. Now they're actually much stronger than before, but I think I'm at a decent level to bring Judgment Day to these people. I put a lot of points on dexterity and sneaking is already at optimal level that will give them multiplier damage. The boss is different though. They are as sturdy as the bounty ones and they brought unique weapons. Once the area got liberated, the Hornskeeper will appear and doing nothing. But hey, they are here now, so this place ain't gonna be a bandit hideout anymore. I continue to liberate the other area until the night comes, and the Weird Knight finally appeared and killed me in one hit. Yeah, this guy apparently showed up more often as you level up, so I'm gonna avoid them even more. Level 22, and I guess it's time for an upgrade. I'll wear a full set of Keeper's armor. Yeah, this armor looks ugly, but it has a better protection and the buff was quite useful. I also got a new sword called the Shadow Blade. Cannot remember where I got this, but it's better than the regular short sword. Now, I can comfortably liberate the rest of the settlements. There's this merchant over here. He sold quite some good stuffs. I met him once early in the game, even before I reached the Horns. A genuine good guy. I went to his supposedly hideout close to camping spot, and I got caught stealing his stuff.
What? It's you!
But he's pretty naive, so I lied and made my way out. There are a few people in Cuanacht that is very important to this arc. Meet Denholm, a general from Camelot that currently resides in the city, and his quartermaster, Asgal. He asked me to test his strength and I comply. Well, while I'm currently sparring with him, this is the right moment to introduce my friend here, Gary. He's a little ugly, but he's a good companion. I actually forgot where I got him specifically, but he's the reason why I keep leveling my spirituality so I can summon him. Anyway, regarding the man here, Denholm told me to talk to someone called Maggot. With M, not with F. He can sense Arthur inside of me, so he's special. But before we continue the serious talk, I have to buy another summon from him, the Battle Mage. Okay, let's go back to the topic. Maggot wants me to ignite the man here fully, but in order to do that, I have to be on the subconscious state and get inside his brain to get the information on how to turn on the man here. Because it seems Maggot buried that information and sealed it completely. Now to make the potion, it requires a certain ingredients. Raspberries, I have hundreds. But the luminous silver dust, that can only be acquired in a specific spot. It was inside the camp, close to the west gate to the Horns. With that, I collected everything to make the potion. I entered Maggot's lucid dream and killed the real Maggot. After that, I woke up, and Maggot told me exactly where the stuffs to ignite the man here. It was a tablet split into half, and the first one is the sagremor's castle. But the castle is completely buried underground. And the other one, I have to ask Niante.
Niante.
She told me it was in the corrupted temple. Which one to go first? I have no idea, but I think it would be very interesting to find sagremor's castle. I said interesting, however, it's actually a big mistake from my end. The castle is not totally buried actually. It was hidden underground and there is a way to get there by dive deeper in the lake. There are a bunch of these one-eyed creatures that can one-shot you with lasers. Gary also helped me and being a mid-shield to me, so thanks to him I can survive long enough. However, this location actually prohibits me to set up a bonfire, so basically I cannot level up or even worse, I cannot cook at all. At the moment I only have a bare minimum healing resource and I don't have enough food. The solution here I can just go back up there, but I was too lazy to cancel this expedition as I thought I already halfway to reach the castle. I played most of the Souls game, alright? I know this empty bridge is just too empty for some reason. There you go. Looks like it ain't gonna be easy. Actually, it's far from easy, realizing how under level I am at the moment. Do I have to grind every time I face major bosses? This seems like a hassle, but the answer is no. If I cannot beat the Archmage normally, it's time to cheese him. We will take advantage of the janky part of the game. As you can see, I barely deal any damage to him and he basically can almost one-shot at me, and with the help of his skeleton summons, I don't have any window to attack. But it was only a smoke and mirror. First of all, let's put aside the skeletons. I'll have Gary to help me with that. And I'm gonna utilize my sneak buff with my bow to get maximum multiplier damage. Well, it's not that much, but surely better than my sword attacks. Once the Archmage charges towards me, I'm gonna run towards the end of the bridge. He'll think I'm not worth the time and just stop chasing me. And when that happens, I can apply another sneak attack to him. Also, in this case, I have to summon Gary multiple times as he's gonna be dead at the time I escape the Archmage. Second phase, he can summon himself like... Oh my god, bro, for real? But the summon won't do shit as long as I'm not aggroing him. This might be the longest battle so far, but eventually I made it. I entered the castle and greeted by the custodian. He said I can grant the audience with the king and queen? Sagremor? But I gotta wait. While waiting, I explored the entire castle and follow up every quest from the sisters, the baby, even looking for a talking fetus.
Why did you kill me?
I also talked to the mushroom man from Elden Ring until I finally able to meet the king and the queen. I suggest you play the game yourself on this part. I hate this place so much, but the lore is very interesting even though I wasn't able to get every information at the time. But okay, enough of that, because I have to get serious for a moment. I haven't met the king just yet, but I met the queen Sagremor herself. She is actually a lich queen. As everyone in the castle says, the queen is the most ruthless demonic being in the castle, so I expected this already. So far, this is the hardest boss in the game, but what makes it hardest is not about the mechanics. You can dodge most of her attacks and parry her slashes just fine, however, I don't quite understand the hitbox from her spells. It almost had no build-up and visually it's just a small explosion. Well, I don't know if that can be called explosion, but they will kill me instantly. The bad news, I don't have any more healing resources. Only some potions left and that's it. So, just like challenge run I did previously, I gotta pull a no-hit run. Alright, lock in guys. The queen has two types of attacks, the sword attacks and the non-sword attacks. After dying multiple times, I realized she only has like two types of sword attacks. Both of them can be parried quite easily, so no issue here. But let's talk about the non-sword attacks. Every time she does these attacks, you gotta always make distance. The ground wave and the ice attacks are quite easy to avoid. However, the explosion is the one that always got me. I don't feel the dash is enough to escape the range of explosion, but I did find another method. And that is run. Yeah, just run to the opposite direction and you'll be good. Sagremor doesn't have a lot of HP, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be a short fight. Endurance is still a core of this battle, so stay focused or you'll be done before you know it. You don't want to finish too early or swing your sword the wrong way, but either way, as long as you have enough HP, you can beat her normally. But in my case, I gotta pull a no-hit. Well, almost a no-hit. After the fight, I finally met the king. He's friendly even though I know he's in despair about the castle and his immortality, but we came for the tablet and we got it.
This is for you.
We also got a bunch of goodies, a little bit too much for me. So I gotta walk my way out of this place, literally. This is taking forever, I cannot take it. So I dropped every bear pelt I had because that thing is heavy. The whole quest gave me a good amount of EXP and I have to put more on spirituality because I feel bad for Gary. He's tired after dying multiple times and I'm gonna replace him with the Battle Mage. Let's name him Larry. Okay, that honestly my hardest quest so far. And to get the second tablet, I have to find a place called the Corrupted Temple. Now, this place has the same system where I couldn't set up a bonfire, but I came in prepared this time. I got my weapon upgraded, my food stocked up, and I got Larry on my side. To be honest, I like Gary more since Larry is lazy as hell, so I gotta work by myself. This place is pretty straightforward, there's no engaging stories like in Sagremor's castle, so only a few minutes in this place, I already at the top. The boss babe. Perceval is a woman. A strong one for sure. But don't get the wrong idea. She is not Perceval, but she is the descendant of Perceval. All of her attacks can be parried, so this fight is not as tough as it looks like. I beat her in a couple minutes because, you know, I like Sekiro, so this one shouldn't be a problem. But of course I died a few times since I gotta get used with her movesets. And also my summon didn't do shit at all. No, it's not Larry. It's the skeleton. I haven't named him yet, but he's pretty useless, so I'm not gonna use him anymore. After defeating her, or probably I should say her corpse, she told me it wasn't her will to do that, and it was because of the All-Mother's will. She asked me to kill her, but whoa, lady! I don't randomly kill people, especially in this game. Underneath the temple, there's a whole another place where I have to swim my way through these priestess and the one-eye marrow gases, and at the end of the cave, I met another woman. Romance? Question mark?
You are an abomination. You cannot be allowed to continue.
All she could say is no, but this was too hurtful, man. Time to die, woman. I finally met the All-Mother, and she's actually different from what I thought. I imagined she would be a false god or something, but she's just a tired lady, prisoned by her thought and the weirdness. So my presence actually grants her freedom, right after I beat Perceval just now. Rest well, mother, I got this. I'm gonna take the tablet and move on with my mission. I brought the full set of Menhir rites and gave it to Maggot. With that, the Menhir is fully ignited and I passed out for the second time. I woke up in Yvain's quarter once again. I hope he didn't do anything to me because I'm straight. Yvain told me that he is set for the Holy Grail journey to follow his ancestor footsteps. Out of the blue, isn't it? But because he's too much of a beta male, as everyone told me, he grew some balls at the end of the day, which I respect. The house of Yvain is the descendant of Palamedes. I totally understand that, so I help him gathering his people. 3 of them, Maggot, Urfir, and Niante. Every one of them, of course, has their own problem to fix, so they ain't gonna be joining the journey. But I feel bad for Yvain, so I try to persuade them by completing their quests. Except for Maggot. I don't get the option anymore for some reason. For Urfir, I gotta help his son that fall in love with the wrong woman. And now he is sick, so I gotta kill her.
Oh, my beloved. Come closer. Hug me. I want to feel the warmth of your body.
And Niante, it's all about All-Mother. I'll do it later. It's gonna be a lot of work, but in the meantime, I also need to get 2 more things for this video. Buy a house and get married. But you cannot sustain marriage without money, so money is my main goal. Honestly, it's kinda hard to get money in this game. You can do as much as getting bounties or stealing, but I didn't, or probably haven't found a legitimate way to get more money. So I looked up on YouTube and I found an interesting way. Origin Potion. This is the respect mechanic in this game, and by putting all points to practicality, including the crafting skill tree, I can be a master chef and a successful businessman. Go to the kitchen in the Horns and buy everything in his wares. Now when it comes to cooking, I filter by price and start craft many. One of my practicality perk is you can get a 10% chance of material being recycled, so you can craft more than you supposedly could. Cook everything until you run out of ingredients and sell every single food you have and then profit. After that, go to the bonfire, rest for 24 hours and came back. Keep the cycle continue until you're satisfied. How much money do I have right now, you ask? 70? No, 90,000? I put back my points to my original state and started thinking about investing on properties. There are 2 houses that I found and I choose to buy one in Cuanacht for 50,000 coins. I think it's pretty interesting once you set up your house. You can buy different choices of furniture from an NPC called Tiernan. However, as far as I know, you cannot reposition or move these furniture, so you can only change their appearance. A bit of a bummer, unfortunately. I wouldn't call this a mansion, but a house isn't so bad after all. And we achieved our first goal. I took up some bounties and finished up Neante's quest. After that, I also completed Urfir's quest by helping his son Bior to get him a new heart. But I gaslighted him to refuse his new heart so I can keep it for myself. By completing these quests, Neante and Urfir agreed to join Yvain for his Holy Grail journey. Yvain was glad with the results and finally gave him the shield of Palamedes. The cutscene shows Arthur's relationship with Palamedes. However, that memory of Arthur actually shows that he might have doubted his decision. His people actually took everything for granted, and the symbol was not enough to bring them to take action. Feast won't save them. Action might. As we say farewell to Yvain, Denholm will take control on Cuanacht for a while. They have an ancient sacred treaty for the Camelot to not acquire Cuanacht while they go for the Holy Grail. Jeez, Caradoc, you scared me, man. Okay, I know. On the next location, right? We're getting the crown this time, right? We are reaching the end of the journey. But I don't specifically know when this is gonna end. So as I learned from previous experiences, there will be a difficulty spike whenever I enter a new area, so I gotta prepare beforehand. I discovered this legendary dagger called Greed, but getting it required sneaking to Farga's house and stealing it. It can one-shot any non-boss enemy and instantly convert them into gold based on their maximum HP. Sounds amazing until you learn the catch. I'll tell you later, but I saw a YouTube video at the time to use it on the weird nights. I'll use it when I see one. The third location is called the Forlorn Sword. Right in front of the gate, there's a wounded Dalriada named Kedrun. Well, Caradoc told me to meet someone called Gervan, and looks like he knows him. I did what he told me to keep following the giant sword, or actually just following the waypoint on the map. I thought I came in prepared, but apparently I was underestimating this place on the big scale. These creatures are ruthless, bro. Even Larry drew his sword because his comfort zone got invaded. I still managed to kill most of them, but they wore me out to be honest. Most of the bandits here are Dalriadas or the deserted soldiers. Remember the berserkers we fought earlier in the Horns? I feel like these guys over here are very weak compared to them. A bear? Okay, I never seen this type before. This is one of the named bandits, so of course she is strong. But okay, maybe a little bit too strong. Nope, she is hella strong. I gotta run. The waypoint is on the other side of the map, so I'm forced to explore the entire map, and compared to Cuanacht or the Horns, I feel like the enemy and the wildlife here are strong in their own way. Most of them either can summon, or having a precise long-range attack that eats my health bar like a hungry homeless man. Or bears. Yeah, there are a lot of bears here. Yeah, I avoided most of the mobs here like a true champion, especially when the night comes. I encountered a weird knight and I equipped my greed right away. The weapon is so powerful, it's almost destroyed my PC and the game crashed. I went back in and took the loot. There are only a bunch of gacha random items, nothing interesting, but what's interesting is my greed has turned into regret. It will be very impactful for some people, but for me, that can gain a bunch of money from cooking only, this has no issue. Also, if you try to reload your save file, regret will still present in your inventory, so you cannot undo the effect at all. That's why the name is regret. Anyway, I tried to make my way across the map, battled one of the scariest boss in the claustrophobic environment. I won though. And finally met Gervan. Kedrun doesn't lie when he said Gervan can see through everything. He knows King Arthur is with me, and as usual, he has his own request, and that is reuniting all the 4 Dalriada tribes so they can merge into Camelot or something. The meeting is called the Moot, so we gotta ask every tribe to join the Moot. But this time, this mission is different. I can actually go get the crown without completing any of these missions. That, if I'm able to get past the trial where I have to beat those powerful enemies, which I obviously unable to do at the moment. Therefore, I gotta play along with them so I can level up as well. Romance. In this section, we'll see every possible partner who's ready to mingle. There are 5 individuals that can be romance according to Google: Elisa, Saina, Beor, Queen Bee, and Morgan. I've heard some of them, but since it is a blind playthrough, I'll show you which one that goes along with me the entire gameplay. Alright, we have Elisa over here. I met her at early game in the bar and she seems rude to me, so I was rude to her as well and eventually locked the dialogue. Alright, the next individual, Beor. I actually prefer a woman. Saine, one of the Camelot soldiers in Cuanacht. She's not as rude as Elisa, but she's not a snowflake for sure. I'll help her with her quests, from finding a missing soldier to discover the underground city of Cuanacht. Okay, there might be a change of plan. I gotta hold the romance section for a bit as I finish exploring the underground city. I was making my way up from the river and found a hidden entrance. I went through the entire place to reach the end and it's actually a tomb. A tomb of Sir Gawain. with his knight, Sir Berlitak. Whatever, I don't know how to say their name. They're friendly actually, however Berlitak as the Green Knight himself asked me to grant him death in a fierce battle. Without hesitation, I accepted his request, and that's the moment I realized I made a mistake. This is a hard fight, and by hard, I mean the hardest fight in the game. For me, from my experience, I'm not even joking. I have to maintain range because if I get a little bit too far from him, he will pull a 3 range attack combos. But the most dangerous one is the sound barrier attack or whatever this is. Not only that, but if I got hit by his earthquake for the first time, he will restore his HP to full health. That's too much in my opinion. So what I'm doing right now, I'm letting him hit me one time because I have a perk that let me survive a deadly blow. I can use that chance to force him to restore his health bar, even though it's still at full. That's right, I'm smart. And then here comes the hard part. If you already memorized the Axe movesets, that makes the fight much easier, but you also gotta pay attention to the surroundings, so I don't put him in a spot where the tall grass distracted my vision. Also, these summons, man, I got 2 Larrys and they're holding me back, I swear. Once I stagger him, I'm gonna use my King's power to pull multiple heavy attacks on him. Yep, that's a lot of damage. Now as long as I keep him close and always reposition myself to stay in front of him, I can win this fight. I don't know what just happened. I'm not mad, I'm not. I know how to beat him, I just have to replicate the whole thing. All of these attempts took me more than 2 hours and finally I beat Sir Berlitak. Oh, you think it's done? Sir Gawain woke up and killed me on the spot. That's right, round 2 baby, give it to me. I'm not scared of Gawain because he has the same skills as Berlitak with different movesets as he's wielding a great sword. However, the fight took me 3 hours in total, even though he's not as hard as Berlitak before, but yeah, probably it's just me adapting with the movesets. Also, I forgot to mention, my other sword that I'm using right now is called a repose sword that has 30% chance to deplete enemy stamina. Gawain has the same projectile attacks as Berlitak and the Weird Knights, and yeah, another 2 hours, I'm done. Finally, holy shite. Upon exiting the tomb, I met a lady that I wished to be able to romance. Well, unfortunately, there wasn't any option to do so, and she actually invited me to her guild. I'm gladly accepted, and apparently there are more tombs to be discovered in all over Avalon. But yeah, it's a story for another day. Let's go back to Signe. After I reported what I found in the underground city, basically my relationship with her got a bit closer. She requested 3 items as the last quest. That are...
These are there.
5 bear pelts, 10 wolf pelts, 5 marrow gas shells, and 3 crockmore skins. All of that are easy to get except for the marrow gas shells. That is a very rare drop from a marrow gas. You know, the creature with 1 eye that can shoot lasers. But the thing is, there is a stronger version of marrow gas called the curl gas. Their appearance looks the same, but they have additional movesets. And with the curl gas, that is a guaranteed drop. With that done, there's actually no other thing she can ask me to do rather than invite me to her tent.
Why don't you meet me in my tent after I finish up here? We can both make sure we walk away satisfied.
Are we about to commit sex?
You don't beat around the bush, do you? Good. I wasn't planning to waste time talking anyway.
Well, of course there is no cutscenes. But that wasn't the most disappointing stuff out of this relationship. She only seeks a one-night stand, so I'm the only one catching feelings here. And okay, even if you don't love me like I love you, I cannot even do a repeat order. That was the first and the last sex with her. I guess I had a good run. Alright, that's enough romance for now. Let's get back to where I left off. I'm still trying to level up even more, but this time I decided to change my gears and weapons if possible. There are a bunch of side quests I did this time for the sake of looking for a unique weapon, and I found one when doing Elaine's quest. At the end of the quest, there is a small cave in a deserted island, and I was greeted by Davy Jones. Believe it or not, this quest is available at early game, so right now I'm at level where I can just swing my sword randomly and kill everything quite easily. The weapon I got is called the Tide Piercer. Now this weapon has projectile attack with 150% damage. This is fantastic. I know I just fell in love with this weapon, so I need to refine the sword by upgrading to higher level. This requires a meteorite ore that is quite easy to get, but reaching the farming spot requires an exceptional swimming skills. Yes, quite far from the fast travel point if I'm being honest. Okay, so there are 4 tribes of the Dalriades. The first one is the Volker tribe. I genuinely has the best relationship with them even though I killed one of them. but I finished almost every quest possible for this tribe. But yeah, I convinced the chief, Angvar, to join the mood.
I remember my promise.
Second tribe is Ulver. Now this is a unique case where the chief was corrupted by the weirdness and we are tasked to challenge him. I noticed I can just challenge him right away, but I followed their quest to get the blessings from the giants. I got all their blessings by completing their trials. Every single one of the trials challenge you with different types of monsters, but they are quite easy when you have 2 Lares on your side. I completed all the trials and they crafted a sword for me, solely to challenge Thrikvi, the chief. I mean, what happens with these Viking names, man? I cannot say the name, I cannot pronounce it. This guy is not better than Sir Berlitak before. Same moveset, less powerful. He got no chance against me. After beating him, he asked me who's gonna be the next chief for the tribe. I chose Darvanar because I thought he's assertive and bold, suitable as a chief. However, picking him actually letting me not be able to persuade the Over tribe to join the mood. So I reload my save file, beat this guy again, and choose Storner. With that, they agree to join the mood. Up to the next tribe, Svein. They actually in a very devastating state right now where their god, the Stag Father, is getting stoned by the weirdness and went on killing spree on them. So my task is to solve the problem by either kill the Stag Father or give him a second chance to not get high on the weirdness. After talking and fighting with the Stag Father, I almost died by the way. I decided this guy didn't pull a genocide on purpose. It was a mistake, but it's still his fault. So I decided to give him a second chance.
Has returned to his true form.
Since the tribe is known to be the best hunters, it was because the wildlife was blessed by the Stag Father, so they can hunt. Without their god, the tribe will not survive. However, by picking this choice, Barlam, the chief, refused to join the mood. Yeah, whatever, I don't want to restart at this point. As for the final tribe, the Thoid, the sleepy one, this one worships Saint Trina more than Theolier in Elden Ring. No wonder the village is empty, because everyone is in a different realm. Now my task is very simple. I gotta get inside the dream realm and fix everyone's problem there. Very easy. Once that's done, I got a chance to talk to the mother, and that is a giant. She's kinda tough, so Arthur actually helped me to gaslight her to get Ingvi to join the mood. That was a successful attempt.
He summoned me, so I will come.
We got a mod manager now. This will change everything. But not now. Oh, look at my fine shit right here. Hello.
There you are.
I mean, I prefer someone that is more human. But after getting dumped by Sine, I cannot be too picky, right? And Morgan, seems to not ask a lot of questions. So I did what she asked for, and please be a long-term relationship, please.
That's it. Just give in to me, my beautiful mortal. Let me show you a Morgan's passion.
The touch of her cold, wet lips douses the flames of your desire. As her claws break the skin of your neck, you begin to realize just how much of a fool you've been. You try to struggle, but her grip is unyielding. Before you can cry out, she pulls you down into the frigid depths. You open your mouth in a silent scream as her teeth sink into your flesh. The darkness that follows feels almost like mercy.
No more romance. It's done, guys. I'm not getting married, and I don't think it's possible in this game. The closest and the best romance you can get is from Elisa. I watched the whole thing on YouTube, but I encourage you to try it yourself. My love story is never getting better. But what getting better is my strength. I went down the passage and fight my way through every monster that's there. Also, there are a bunch of giants that are quite hard to kill, so I gotta save up a bunch of arrows and shoot them from distance. We got the Black Knight as well, very tough. If it's not because of the Lares by my side, I'm probably gonna be dead. I finally get the crown. Larry, get the hell out of my face. I finally get the crown. And this time, the memory shows Caradoc. He's actually siding with the Dalriadas because Arthur seems to be abandoning them. And the worst case, technically, turning his sword towards them. I never expected Caradoc has lived long enough and has a deep hatred towards Arthur because of this. Arthur seems to be hopeless and he gave the big decision for me to make. I thought the giants to go sleep forever, like literally. I'm not telling them to kill themselves. Like sleeping and live in the dream world. Like the Thoid tribe is actually their thing. So after concluding with Gervan and told them not to march to Camelot, I set my last journey to a place Caradoc told me. I finally met him and he told me to meet his so-called employer, Orin. I've heard about Orin, but I couldn't remember when or where. But he's not human. He's an ancient being, a druid, just like Maggot. And as a contrarian to Caradoc, Orin wants to revive Arthur, because he's a symbol of hope. While I jump into different realms, I found a very cozy place and met a familiar face. I saw this guy in the middle of deserted island before, if you remember. The one where I got the gong? He's actually King Arthur himself. At least he's the human soul version of Arthur. His name is Hop. Hop is a very tired man. He got revived every 600 years and now he just want to die or at least left alone. I don't know exactly how's that making any sense, but okay. I know fishing making me think too hard sometimes. Yeah. Finally, it's the end of the road. The decision is mine to make. I genuinely believe the best person to wield this power is me. Because I did it all by myself, by collecting the soul's fractions. I am the driver. You all just passengers. However, by picking this, not only I have to kill Hop because the humanity in Arthur needs to die to proceed the ritual, and Caradoc, as expected, will not accept my decision and turn against me.
Not again.
But at this point, he didn't think clearly what I truly am. I'm not the same guy he saved in the asylum. I am someone far stronger than 600 years of his training. I am someone far stronger than him, that I can fish while fighting him. But enough playing around. Caradoc, I'm sorry. You barely play any role in this journey. I have to take you down. Surprisingly, he has a lot of HP, but unsurprisingly, his moves are basic as fuck. With Caradoc died, which is unfortunate, I can proceed with the ritual.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
Without having his humanity anymore, the mindless Arthur emerged, refused to give his power to me. Therefore, I have to fight my way against him. As I expected, obviously it's not gonna be as easy as fighting Caradoc, but I already gained a lot of combat experience. From Queen Sagremor, from Sir Gawain and Sir Berlitak, Arthur has the same combat styles with a few more additions like summons and some spells. This can be a hard fight, but at this point my skills and perk are top notch already. Using King Soul's power twice will end Arthur right off the bat. The problem is that it will have a long cooldown after a single use. But my other perk allows me to collect these yellow orbs after killing his summons to refill my King Souls. But my most powerful equipment is my sword. With that, I have range advantage against him and he stands no chance. So this is the end. A new era begins with me as the king. I think not bad for an ending, but it's quite a mediocre one in my opinion. While talking about this, I think I have to share my honest review on the game as well. So overall gameplay is so much fun, the combat is satisfying, exploring feels rewarding most of the time. Ironically, side quests has more consequences depending on what you are choosing, the outcomes has more impact compared to the main story. That part I surely appreciate a lot. Also, the NPC here has some personalities, voice acting and writing did very well to immerse the game. Using different styles of weapons give different style of combat, like I use one-handed sword the whole game, but I haven't tried magic outside of summons. I recommend you to try it yourself. They say the spells are unique and overpowered. I actually didn't show a lot of side quests and unique weapons because I want to encourage you to play the game yourself. It is quite experience, I tell you that. Now, let's talk about the downside. The ending obviously is the result of my choices along the journey, however, what irks me a little bit is how less impactful all the decisions to the story. Yes, you have different outcomes for the ending, but you don't really feel the consequences of your choices throughout the gameplay. I could only think of one example that really impacted the gameplay, that is when you lose a whole arm to a Krokmo, but I didn't lose mine though because I didn't encounter the event. And yeah, I also wish there are a lot of post-game content, which we have none. The first half of the game is a lot of fun, but the other half feels kinda rushed. That shows in the main story and the map design. The exploration in the Forlorn Swords is not quite memorable for me, but for real, do I recommend the game? Yes, I strongly do. At the end of the day, it's pretty rare to find a good game that has similar vibe with Skyrim, and to think this game was made by an indie company, I really want to support them. They communicate pretty well with the community and actually pretty active when it comes to updating the game, so who knows what comes next. Alright, I think that's it. As usual, huge shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys. Now click the join button if you wanna support me as well. Now, on the next video.